ridiculous. And it's all about tone and inflection, but the words are all the same. So it's like umo 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 uya 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 umo umo, and I thought that was really funny. I actually stumbled onto a umo music channel because there are people that still very much believe in this,
Yeah.
and it's who they are now. And there's umo music.
Yeah, it's a whole culture, and I kind of like it. I kind of think it's sick that
You're here for it.
Yeah, why not, dude? Like, I mean, if you're not hurting anybody, but obviously if you're doing some weird, weird deviantly natured things, then yeah, I'm not necessarily for it. But I think it's just so interesting. Plus, you're someone who has this fascination with not only horror but the occult. You've been just absolutely consumed by the occult. I guess it's one of your driving factors into what it is you do for a living. Can you maybe tell me, as someone who's not super versed, now I have a book here actually, Sex and Rockets, the Jack Parsons story.
Parsons.
I've been looking into him, fascinating character. But before we touch on that, I would love to get your sort of origin story and what brought you towards the occult.
I'll start off by saying I'm very much an armchair occultist, and it's a funny story, I guess, because you are a part of my occult journey. I've used my quasi C-rate celebrity fame to meet people that I like or admire, and that goes from musicians to actors to magicians. Sleight of hand, and it started with sleight of hand. I became friends with yourself and Penn and Teller and Danny Garcia, and you guys all have the ability to take a deck of cards, 52 pieces of paper and plastic, and do incredible things. And you can create a moment out of those 52 things. Now, if you hand those cards to anyone else that doesn't have that knowledge, they can't. They can stumble around, but you have the ability to control an entire room because you have knowledge that not everyone else has. You have methods that not everyone else knows.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the podcast. I just wanted to remind you that our MJ12 collection is still available at area52.shop. This is some of the highest quality merch that you can get. We worked on this in-house for the past 6 months. This is not a drop shipment. Everything ships out of my warehouse. So if you want to support the channel and cop yourself some really cool Majestic 12 merch, check it out, area52.shop.
And I became fascinated to learn how you were doing it. I became fascinated when I see Danny Garcia do something that to me breaks my brain.
To be fair, Danny Garcia breaks my brain.
Yeah, well, I just had this thing that I couldn't sleep at night because it didn't feel real to me. I knew it was a trick, but it didn't feel real. So I started collecting magic books, and I wanted to uncover the secret. And the best example that I can give is that my kind of quest of esoteric knowledge or occult knowledge, that's all it is. I mean, occult is just that which is hidden. That's what it is. It is uncovering things that aren't widely known and understanding the mechanics behind them. In the same way that once I read a book on magic, I have, when I say magic, sleight of hand, I can start to understand what you're doing. Not that I can do it, but I understand it. I understand the mechanics behind it. But you create magic with cards, real magic. I'm talking magic like Jack Parsons magic, because you can get a group of people together that are strangers, and you can do a trick, and you can create laughter and emotion and amazement.
Alchemy.
Exactly. You've changed something. Who cares that you're using sleight of hand? It is still magic. That is magic. And I became fascinated with that. So part of it started there. The other part of it, I'm a poser. I always feel like I have imposter syndrome. So I am a horror director. I've made my career in making horror movies, and I wanted my office to feel like that. So when I first started out after Saw 2, I had a spooky looking office, and I had spooky skulls, and I had spooky, scary looking books and spooky candles, but they were all fake. It was all stuff you would buy at like Spirit Halloween. And as I started to get more money, I started to replace those spooky things with real things. So I remember the first thing I did was I had all of these spooky books and they're plastic, they're things you would buy at a Halloween store. And I was like, this is cheap. When you come in my office and you turn the lights on, it's cheap. I want the real book. So it started with Magic sleight of hand books. So I started buying Professor Hoffman, which are like, if you're a magician or a sleight of hand person, Professor Hoffman is like everyone knows who he is.
Tricks with cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I started replacing all of my spooky looking books with magic books and books on parlor magic and all of that. So now when you go into my office, it's this old Victorian looking bookcase with all these books in it. Then I started replacing my scary books like Frankenstein and Dracula with real books of that. Then that led me into realizing how fake I'd been my entire career, because I'd made a bunch of movies on religion and the occult, and it was all bastardized Hollywood ideas of the devil and things like that, and that's not what it is. So it started with, after I had my magic books and I had my original Frankenstein books, I started getting esoteric knowledge books. And Manly P. Hall, as an example, he's one of my favorite